Hey there, this is Nikolai from RipeText, and I want to show you how easy it is to set up a new organization with us and use our integrations to sync all of your data over to RipeText. So let me start by creating an organization. Now I'm going to get an email, and from this email I can click the link on it. Yep, and I'll be brought to the onboarding screen of RipeText. When setting up a new organization, we want you to set up a few things before you actually start using the product. First, we are defining the company voice. We're going to have documentation for this, maybe other videos as well. But basically, this is to kind of synchronize the performance of your team and align it so you have the same company voice, you're presenting the same front towards your customer, and regardless of whether you have one team or you have a distributed team that's like multi-site, multi-language, etc., everyone kind of adheres to the same set of rules. So that's what this is about. You can completely customize this, or you can leave the defaults. They're pretty good. We have researched them pretty well, so you should be getting some great results from those. Okay, so now I'm gonna go and set up a Zendesk account. I believe our account is this. So I'm gonna set up an integration to our Zendesk account, and over here. Okay, and now we're brought to this authorization screen so we can establish this connection. We're getting an OAuth token, which is going to allow us to basically access the data that you have already accumulated historically in your Zendesk account. And we're also establishing a webhook where we can get all the new tickets that are coming into your ticketing system. All right, now we have a Zendesk linked to our RipeText organization. There are a couple of more steps over here. We can invite our team members and set up subscription. And once all of those steps have been completed, you get to this screen. Now you can close this tab. We're going to start ingesting those tickets from your account, and you can just monitor your email box probably in something like 10 to 30 minutes, depending on what's the load of tickets that we need to ingest. You're going to get this email to invite you into your already set up organization. Okay, so now our organization is fully ready. Everything has been ingested and we have produced insights. You've got the email, and once you navigate to RipeText from it, this is what you're going to see, or something similar. Obviously, your data is going to be different. So let me give you a quick tour of the application. We solve three problems, right? I first want to go over those, and then I'm going to show how we do that. The first problem is that CSAT reports are only returned on 5 to 15% of the tickets. So even if you're getting a great CSAT, it's only based on a very small subset of the total number of tickets that you actually have. We solve that by reading all of your conversations and giving an AI CSAT score, giving you high quality supplement for all of this missing data, so you can have a complete picture. Second problem is that manual QA of your support communication is very inconsistent. It's unscalable, it's slow, and it doesn't lead great results, especially when you have multi-site, multi-national and multi-language support. This problem becomes progressively worse when you involve more people and more sites and more languages. But even with just one team, it's kind of tough to ensure that everyone is following the same company voice. That's why we let you define your company voice, as you saw in the onboarding, and then we process all of this communication and ensure that your agents are following this company voice. And wherever they are actually making a violation to adhere to that company voice, we let them know in their personal performance dashboard, as well as those aggregates over here. The third problem is that tagging your tickets manually is super slow and it's not really reliant. It's very tough to spot issues that are multi-site, multi-language. That's why we have a AI clustering of issues. So we detect when tickets are about the same thing, even if they're if they are in separate support systems in different languages and so on. We get all of this data together and cluster it together semantically, and we show you what are the high impact issues, and we also show you what is the impact on your bottom line if you're not to deal with them soon enough. All right, so let me address all of those one by one. First, I'm gonna go actually backwards. I'm gonna show the high impact issues first. It's front and center over here in this dashboard. As you can see, we see that we've got something like 31 issues affecting 117 customers, and we have 5 agents, so all of our team involved in those issues. So first, let's actually set an LTV, that's average LTV for your customer. So an expected average lifetime value of a customer. Let's say that this is like $15,000 expected average LTV. And then we're going to get an estimate on our revenue impact for all of those issues that we have detected. Then we can actually inspect the issues in the issue radar, and we can check, do we have critical ones? No, we don't have critical ones. We have only medium and low severity issues over here. But then we also have a bunch of other filters that we can go through in order to narrow down specifically what we are interested to look at. For every issue cluster, we show an LTV exposure, tickets count, velocity, and growth pattern. And you can click on every one of those to check the specific tickets that we clustered together into the same issue. So you can inspect what they're about, who handled them, get a better sense of the actual problem. This is how a conversation looks like, not only from the issue radar, but wherever you are actually getting to this view. That's what you're going to see, a similar view to this one, with all of these metrics that we are measuring for every conversation. We actually measure stuff on a message level, as well as conversational level, agent level, and team level. And going back to the dashboard over here, we can go into the automated QA that I mentioned earlier. This is the personalized agent performance dashboard. So this is for just one agent. You can see this for every agent on the team, and you can see where do they excel at, what is the maybe a little bit problematic in their performance, and how to actually improve on those things. This spider chart is based on the company voice. As you saw in the onboarding, you can completely customize this. Like, we are giving a great default set, a very well-researched set of guidelines, but you can choose entirely your own, whatever makes the most sense for your team. And then we're going to measure according to what you give us as descriptions. And once we know what the specific agent has a problem with in terms of performance, we can actually help them get better. How do we do that? Well, we use their data and we generate training scenarios where they can go in our training module and, in a safe environment, low stakes environment, work with an AI persona and train their support muscle. So everything that they have failed on in terms of AI CSAT or the company voice violations, etc., they can actually train to improve on over here in the simulator in our training module. You can also build your own personas. You don't need to use the ones that we generate for you, but the ones that we generate are grounded in your data, in your actual performance. You can create scenarios to put those personas into and continuously measure your track record and progress. The next thing I want to show is the topics. So we are clustering tickets not only on the issue, but also on topics discussed, as well as common questions that people are asking in support. You can also create your own topics. So I can create a threat to churn topic over here. Customer threatens to churn if something doesn't get resolved. And once I create this topic, right, every time a ticket comes in that can be semantically linked to this topic, it's going to be clustered over here. And then if you want to go and get a notification about, something very important that you're trying to catch with a custom topic, you can come to the settings, automations, and you can select the right event that you want to use. And then you can either send a Slack or notification or email, or just call any webhook with the payload that we provide for the event, and completely templatable headers as well as body of the request. Very, very flexible. The next thing I want to show over here, maybe it is the last thing that I will be showing in this demo, is Ivy. Ivy is our state-of-the-art AI assistant. Ivy has the domain knowledge and of customer support. She also has access to both your original data in terms of tickets, as well as everything that we produce as insight on top of this data. And you can use Ivy for everything and anything that we couldn't actually create with UI, or we haven't yet added to the product. Usually you would be able to get this done with Ivy. You can produce beautiful reports, get all sorts of charts, look for all sorts of metrics, even ones that you come up with yourself. That's probably the extent of what I want to show in this demo. I hope this will be interesting, and we look forward to working with you. Cheers.